Hello everyone, I just wanted to pop on while the baby was asleep and get our first video up on our YouTube channel. Thank you to everyone who participated in our poll on Facebook, letting us know what is most helpful for you as business owners to know. Because of that, we're going to be talking about some common terms that you guys will use and hear on a daily basis in regards to your books. Bear with me on my first video here. I'm not a fan of videos, so there will probably be a lot of pauses, looks off camera because I don't know how to look at myself in the video. So let's get started. Our first term is going to be accounts receivable, and this refers to any amount owed to you by customers, clients, or other vendors. These amounts are considered an asset on your balance sheet, and it's generally understood that they are obligated to pay you these amounts. On the flip side of that, we have accounts payable, which is pretty self-explanatory. On the flip side, is going to be any amount your business owes to others. This means any refunds to customers, payments to vendors, or any of your regular bills or loans. These amounts will show up as a liability on your balance sheet. Your balance sheet is another thing you'll hear about. It's essentially an overview of your business's financial status. It shows you where you stand based on your assets, liabilities, and equity. That brings us to assets. These are typically, there's two types of assets that you'll kind of run into: your tangible assets and your intangible. Tangible assets are things like equipment, property, cash, or tools that you use in your business. Intangible assets will include things like your stocks, patents, copyrights, and anything of that nature. A liability is anything your company owes, both short or long-term debts. Keep in mind, these are extremely, obviously, very basic descriptions of any of these. If you want a more in-depth or detailed description, feel free to give us a message and we'll be happy to answer your questions. Let's move on here. Pardon me as I read my notes. Revenue is a term you'll hear which refers to the total amount of money you collect for services or goods that you sell before any of your expenses are subtracted. It includes credits and discounts for returned merchandise as well. Expenses for your business, there are four types of expenses that you'll deal with. First being fixed expenses. Those stay consistent month to month and will be things like your salaries, rent, regular paid bills, and they won't be affected by sales or the market. Secondly is variable expenses. These are tied to production and can rise or fall with your increased or decreased sales. Thirdly is accrued expense. These are things that have been reported on your books but have not yet been paid for, such as a bill you received. So you record that bill, but you haven't quite paid for it yet, so that would be an accrued expense. Lastly, there are operational expenses, which are any costs that you have that are necessary for your company to conduct business. For example, if you're in online sales, you require internet access to conduct business. As far as how you would like to record your books, there are generally two used options for you to choose from. Cash basis accounting is very straightforward and commonly used for small or new businesses. Basically, you will record any movement of money when the payment is actually received or sent. The second would be accrual basis accounting. That records the money when it is earned or when the expenses are incurred. So accrual basis records transactions when a service is rendered versus cash basis recording it when your customer pays for those services. Lastly, I have forecasting. You probably won't hear this too much in your day-to-day, but it is an important aspect as far as future plans for your business. In a nutshell, it's when you use historical data to predict your future business trends, so you can estimate a budget for upcoming plans that you may have. You'll study things like supply and demand, as well as sales and expenses from their past to help you get a good picture of how to get to where you want to be. I think that's all that I have for you today, which is perfect. I was hoping to keep this about 5 minutes. Hope that wasn't too boring or difficult to watch. I promise I will practice this video thing and get better at it. Until then, please keep checking back with us for more info. And again, feel free to contact us if you have any questions regarding bookkeeping. We would be happy to help you. See you next time. Bye.